All right, what up, fine shits? So today's gonna be like a little trade recap type shit. Um, and why I took the trades that I did. As you can see, I am logged into my live account, and that's what I'm gonna be showing the executions on. At the, it's gonna be a little bit towards the end of the video. I'm gonna show the execution, so just stay tuned. I'm just gonna put this bitch in full screen. Shit, wrong one. There it is. All right. So the reason I did what I did is, like I had stated in a previous video, I'm looking at this level almost like if it's going to be the low of the year. It doesn't have to be the low of the year, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. Um, but anyways, like I said in that video, or I think I said in that video, price came down, or price created this range, came down to this, below this halfway area, discount, and this was a Monday when it traded down into that. Tuesday started moving higher. Last week just moved higher, took out this buy side liquidity, and the trade I took here was here on this Monday. So with Friday's trading, we opened higher, creating this volume imbalance from this level right here. So I was highlighting this area to see exactly how price would act after it came into this. So the way I'm looking at this is, I could put a, this is exactly how I'm looking at it. So if I put a red line right here, okay. So we don't want price to go below this low. This is how I'm looking at this. We don't want price to go below this low. We have this volume imbalance. It's a Monday. We're almost guaranteed we're going to trade lower to create that weekly wick. And so this is what I was noting right here. And also, so now I would be hopping into the hourly chart. So the next thing I do on the hourly chart is I'll grab the 6 p.m. open on Sunday for Monday's trading day, and the 6 p.m. close right here. So this is the range we have right here. This is going to be the daily candle's entire range. So what we saw happen is price came down on Sunday during Asian, tapping into this volume imbalance right here, moving away from that area, taking out buy side right here. This would have been like a minor buy side type shit. God damn it. All right. So minor buy sides right here. The 9 o'clock hour took that out, obviously, with the 9:30 open. All that volatile, or the volatility. Basically making people think that it's gonna go up, tripping out their buy stops, or yeah, their buy stops, or their sell stops, and then putting them into maybe even a buy position if it goes past that level. So whatever, we got all that. Hop into a 15. We see right here 9:30 opens. We come down, then move higher, taking out that buy side. Move even higher, 9:45. Finally dropping below to what? Relative equal lows that we're chilling right here. So this is relative equal lows. Sell sign. And then we also had the relative equal lows made during the Asian, then when it came into that volume, when it touched that volume imbalance. So we have that. We have all that sell side right here. And then we have this actual volume imbalance. So remember how on the daily chart, we didn't want it to come below these lows. These lows right here. This low. Don't want price below this low. So we're going to monitor that. We're going to see what time things do what. So knowing that you only really want to be trading the afternoon session after about 1:30 p.m. That's about whenever I started looking at it. Or 1:30 p.m. right here. We start moving higher. And we had, let's see, hop into the 1 minute. This is how everything falls together with the way I personally have my model set up, my trading model. So I usually will delineate the hours. This helps me personally quite a bit. It lets me understand a little bit more of how price wants to do what. So looking on the 1 minute time frame, we want to see, will price come out of that volume imbalance? Well, so here at 1:30, almost literally directly at 1:30 almost, we start moving higher, and then we trade through it. Once we trade through it, hold on. All right, yeah. Once we trade through it, now we know, okay, well, price could want to just continue moving higher, respect that volume imbalance, and just hop out of that area. So technically buying within this volume imbalance would have been ideal. Like around this 230, 235 mark right here, that would have been, I think, the most ideal spot to buy. I didn't. I missed out on that opportunity. I watched it fly by. Little hurt, but it's whatever at the end of the day. You got plenty of more opportunities. Next thing I was looking at was this buy side right here. So there's that buy side, relative equal highs. Hold on. So we had that. Price comes out of it, comes back into this volume imbalance, respecting this gap right here. Yeah, this candle respects it, just pops right out of it. Never comes back into it at all. Okay. And then we're also looking on a 15-minute because we had, you have to pay attention to every time frame basically. So okay. So on the 15-minute, we have this right below that buy side. We have this right here, this gap. The only reason I include this little part because there's a little volume imbalance right there. Doesn't go, this wick right here doesn't go past the halfway point of it, so this all is valid as a gap. Move that through. Well, let's move it right there. The end of the day. Right, this is the end of the day. Oh no, right here. Okay. Okay, so right here, we see price take off, start to take off. And then this hour opens, the 3 o'clock to the 4 o'clock hour. This is where I was looking to find a buy position at finally, since price has just been basically just running away from this buying opportunity almost nonstop, and this was just too high resistance. I didn't want to get into this. This was just I didn't like the way that was, because what could have happened could have been that in the 3 o'clock hour we could have dropped, taken out some type of low within this. That's why I didn't want to get into that. It's not going perfectly in my favor. So basically we have price open at 1, open just a little bit higher. As you can see, this is the close, previous hour, open just a little right there. That shows strength. Price moves higher, comes out of this 15-minute inversion fair value gap, comes back down to the midpoint of it, moves higher, but we're waiting for the 15-minute chart. None of that really matters to me yet. I'm waiting for the 15-minute chart to close through that volume imbalance. As you can see, it closed through it. It closed outside of it. Where you can see too on the 1 minute how that did that. So this is where it closed right here, 314. So we're looking at 315. Anything past 315, or I guess 315 and past, we're looking at that to see if we will come back into this volume imbalance and how we respect that. Or I mean this inversion fair value gap and how we respect that. So watching 315's open, we come down into there and just move higher all the way through to 330. And I believe I had gotten into a position in this candle right here. And I had noticed that I had kind of like, I didn't really like that area to be in this at. I got out around right here, somewhere around here. I got out within just 4 minutes. I didn't like the way it was looking. I thought I was in it too high of a price. So I got out of that position. Notice price make these relative equal lows. I got in on this candle right here because it took out this low just slightly. See that? Took out that just slightly. And it was also the start of the 330 candle. So 330, this is a brand new 15-minute candle. Moves higher. Took out this minor buy side right here. And then we just had a huge fucking drop. Just huge drop. I think it dropped within just a second. Within a second, it just dropped fast as fuck. Took out these lows. Popped back up higher. And the next candle opened higher. Moved lower again, taking out this low once again. And we were looking at the 5-minute chart. I was looking at the 5-minute chart. I was looking at this gap right here. So I'm looking at this, and I don't want it to go past that midpoint of that. So as you see, price didn't have enough momentum to go below that midpoint of that. We start trading up higher. And then on the 1-minute chart, we had this gap right here. Purple. See how price just perfectly respected that? There's that. And also what I was seeing was if you go back to a 5-minute, I had this order block right here marked out. So anything past, I think it was 335, but let me check. Or no, okay, so so at 345 for that 5-minute candle, I was watching on the 1 minute to see how it respected that. So as you see, 345 candle opens up, comes down into that order block on the 5-minute, moves higher, taking out minor sell side or minor buy side here, comes back down into this gap, And then I finally got taken out of my position for buy side right here on this candle. So that was my trade recap. That's the reasons I took the trade I did. It respected that daily volume imbalance. If it respects that daily volume imbalance, I'm looking for either a higher close on the daily, like a bullish close, like it's gonna create a green candle, or it's gonna be a really small black thick area, like a small black candle type, like kind of like this type shit, but with a volume imbalance, respecting that. So I'm looking at that. So we know that it wants to go above here because let's see at the 9. So this was the daily open. I knew that it wanted to get above this, is what I'm saying. If price wants to get above this and we have buy side literally just right above that, you connect the two together and assume, okay, well, we have buy side right above this. We have the opening price right here. If it wants to respect the volume imbalance, it could be it could be a green up close candle for the daily chart. So that's how you put that 2 and 2 together. So now I'm going to show you the executions I took. Like I said, I'm still logged into that AMP account. That's what I trade with personally, is the AMP futures. These are those executions right here. So I bought in on this candle. I don't even remember why I bought into that fucking candle. It makes no fucking sense. But I bought in on that candle, sold my position right here. Because I noticed I was at a high price. I saw this candle wick back in. And it also came into that 5-minute. That was something else I was looking at. Looking at that 5-minute gap that we had created. Barely touched into that. That's also why I bought. And I sat through all of this, moving up my stop loss slightly every single time I made one of these moves, except for right here. Right here, I had kept my stop loss right at the midpoint of that, right, just a little bit below it, just a little bit below that, the midpoint of this 5-minute. Comes down, barely doesn't hit that stop loss, moves higher. Since it did that, I then moved my stop loss just a little bit more up. I think I moved it to like the halfway, right, like the 0.25, or yeah, the 0.25 of this gap. And then finally, once we took out this buy side right here, I had moved it up again to this low. And then once we respected this order block, I moved it right below the low of this. I moved it right there. So I was, no matter what, in a profit position. And then we respected this gap perfectly. And I got out on that candle right there. I'd also took a really, I had gotten off work the day prior. Taking a really small trade for a sell as well right here. Wanted it to go below this low right here. Or no, I think I actually had my take profit right here at the order block of this, actually. Because I knew we wanted to take out this low, but I didn't need the whole move. So, yeah. That's where I'd gotten out. Right there. What was that? Like a maybe 1, 2, 3, 4? No. Literally 3-minute move. Nothing crazy. But that just shows there's so many opportunities in these markets. You just have to be able to understand time, why price wants to do what, and just have a narrative behind it. If you don't have narrative behind it, you're just fucking gambling. That's just straight the fuck up. You're just gambling, and you might as well be considered a fuck off. So, paper trade till you get good. And that's just fucking that. Have a good one. That was my time with y'all. Later, fine shits.